All right, guys, let's talk about a G-Shock square that I'm pretty excited to actually own. And from the very first pictures, renderings, whatever we saw early on, it didn't really fully prepare you for what it actually looks like in the metal. Most of the time when I look at it, especially pictures or even really in real life on my wrist, it almost looks photoshopped. I mean, right now, I'm looking at it through the viewfinder and it looks fake. It looks like it's pretty bizarre. And I think it's just all of the lines and the squares and everything like that. The grid pattern plays some sort of optical illusion on you. So what we're looking at here is the gmw-b5000cs-1cr. So big thanks to my buddy John over at the Watchguage. I'll put a link to his website and his YouTube channel and all that stuff down in the description. Unfortunately, it's another classic case of these are very difficult to get, guys. John's already sold out. He sold out as soon as he got them. I approached him early on when I started seeing that they were, pictures on Instagram and stuff like that. And I'm like, hey, John, can you get me one of these? Retail price on it's $800, and I was fully ready to pay that in full. And John ordered it up, and he got it in, and then he ended up giving me a deal on it for sure. So, and he does that for a lot of people, especially that's where it comes into play. I've preached to you guys, develop a relationship with an authorized dealer, because you just get, you get to ask things, you get to be, hey, like, can you get this for me? Can you do this? And they hook you up because they're, it's a relationship. So anyway, enough about my rant on that. I'll get off my horse on that. So let's just talk about the watch. If you're not familiar with these G-Shock squares, I actually measured this one. I usually don't talk about the measurements on them. This guy is 43.75 millimeter side to side. If you can call it a lug to lug, just on the watch head, it is about 49 millimeter, not including the, the links. And then 13.25 millimeter thick. And then it's proprietary lugs here. So I'm not sure if anyone's doing adapters. I know like J's and K's does adapters for the, the polymer squares and stuff. But I think there might be some adapters. I'm not really sure on the metal ones, because these aren't spring bars. These are 2 screws. And yes, I've had people ask me, these screws here will free spin. You can see it. So it's a captured pin inside there. So yes, these will move back and forth. You might feel them or hear them, and they do free spin. That's part of the design. It's plenty strong. Don't worry about it. So the crazy part on this one is it's IP coated black. So G-Shock already did a full-on black model like this, which I have one coming soon. Hopefully, and I'll show them next to each other when it arrives. And then they show off a little bit with their laser etching on it. And I'll try to do some close-ups on this. You can't feel it or anything. So it's like embedded into the coating or something. It's pretty wild. And it's pretty much everywhere. It transitions even onto the, I believe that's a mineral crystal. The only time they do sapphire is when they do the titanium squares, which I'll show that a little bit too. But, and we talked about the retail price. There's a ton of information on the back side here. You can see the part number, of course, gmw-b5000, which describes a lot of, metal watches. That's even, that one or the silver one or whatever. And they're all using the same module, that 3459. And then you have a bunch of probably legal information regarding like the Bluetooth and the radio signal, because it is a multi-band and it's a Bluetooth. You don't have to do the Bluetooth. I like using the Bluetooth, and most of my G-Shock squares that have it are set up with it. I did not set this one up with it. You can just quickly adjust. You just hold this button down up top. You hold it down, and then you can cycle through the modes, and you can adjust everything. It's super intuitive. It's super simple. You don't, like I said, you don't have to do the Bluetooth and do it through the app, because I know some people just don't like to do that. It's totally fine, not necessary. I didn't do it with this one, but I've done it with the gold one. I've done it with the black titanium, and I did it with the camel titanium. So those are all set up through my app, and it works perfect. So, but this one, I haven't done it yet. I probably will, but at some point I will. The other thing I want to show on this one real quick is the box, because it's a little bit different than all the other ones. Of course, they also did the grid pattern on there. And here's the hang tag. So there's the part number again, and I'll put all this in the description down below. And so it's got a really nice pillow on it too. I don't want to geek out over the packaging, but it's actually a nice pillow. So, and then I don't know what the links are right here. So I took out, for my 7¼ inch wrist, I took out 5 links. So, and these links are the spring bar links, which I have a video on how to do that. Most of the actual steel ones are well, not most, all of the steel ones are spring bar. The titanium ones are pin in collar. So I've done a video on that as well. Totally different setup. Not sure why they did that. I don't know if it's just the materials and they have to do it that way. Whatever, I don't really care. I just wanted to point it out. So let's do some close-ups on this guy, because I know that's what a lot of people want to see. It's a super high gloss IP coating, and then they just laser etched, I guess is what they're calling it. I mean, it's a smudge mag, and I have, because it is a gloss finish, so I have, and then you can see on the clasp, they gridded that out as well. You know, it's a fold-over clasp. So, and this is a keeper. I mean, all these metal ones I have, whether it's the steel or the titanium, these are all keepers. So if you guys have any questions or you want to see something, you know, a little bit more in detail, just ask. I know a lot of times I don't cover that, but, you know, certain aspects that maybe people want to know. But when they're keeper status in my collection, just ask. I'll try to figure it out for you and get a video on it. There's the watch that I'm wearing, another titanium one right now. This is on loan. This isn't my watch. I would love to buy one of these straight up. Everyone's asking me about it. I would love to buy one of these. I just have spent way too much money on other things. My watch budget is not going to support it right now. So let me give you a wrist shot of this guy here. And like I said, even on wrist, I should have got some natural light shots. So, but if you guys have been following these G-Shock squares, like on Facebook or Instagram or any social media, you are seeing pictures pop up, and it's crazy looking. And it seriously is crazy looking, even like when it's on your wrist. Say you pick one up, and a lot of my buddies did pick these up. That's probably who bought the majority of the ones from John over at the Watchguage, were buddies of mine, you know, because we all talk and, you know, we start to share, you know, our new purchases, and then I don't know. We're probably really bad for each other in the hobby. I'm sure most of you guys probably have your own little group of friends, or maybe you don't, but you have your own places that you look, and sometimes it stimulates a unintended purchase. But I always knew I wanted this one. Early on, I guess I was a little skeptical, just because I was like, that is so strange. And then when I full on committed and I reached out to John is when I saw the first real picture. And then a buddy of mine sent me a link to someone in Asia, maybe even Japan or something, actually posted up a video. And then to see it on video, I was just like, that thing is trippy. I have to add that to the collection. So let me show you here next to like a polymer one. And yeah, I mean, guys, straight up $800, or even if you get a deal on it and you pick it up for like, say, you know, $700 or something, that's a lot of money. That's crazy money, right? For a G-Shock square, you know, certainly it is. But when you go full on square nuts, you know, then it escalates just like in anything else. You know, you can start out with a Timex, in less than 6 months sometimes you end up with a Rolex. So you guys can chime off in the comments. You know this has happened to some of you guys. Oh, so here's the difference too. You can see it in the time here. So this one's, you know, I set up and it's maybe got a multi-band signal, but these ones are hooked to the Bluetooth, which updates more often throughout the day. So you can see this one's going to be more accurate to the actual time. This one's a little bit off. And now it'll reset itself when it gets signal again. But if you hook it to your Bluetooth, then, you know, that's why all of these are, they should be anyway, they're pretty much dead on. So that's the difference. So I know that there's a lot of people out there like, oh, I don't want to do the Bluetooth, or that doesn't make any sense. Yes, it does if you want to know exactly what time it is. That's how you keep it dead on. So, and I'll hook this one up too. It's super easy. You can have multiples on there. It's not a big deal. Also, the light, it has the auto light feature, and it came standard preset with a 2-second hold. I upped it to 4 seconds. So it has the gradual on and then the gradual off. So that's a newer feature on some of these G-Shocks, and I think it's very pleasant. So whether it's the negative or the positive display, they're both great. They're both super visible, and the more people I talk to, there's quite a few people that are actually gravitating towards the negative display. I mean, because even when you get it in glare, like you can still read it, and like natural light and everything, you can still read it. I have no problem reading this. And guys, I just turned 45. Yeah, my eyes are starting to go a little bit too. I still have no problem reading the negative displays, but it is nice to have a positive display too. So I guess that's a reason why I just own so many, because they're all just great. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next vid. Have a good night.